We live in a world driven by processed sand. From the smartphone in your hand and the supercomputers training AI to high-precision cruise missiles, everything runs on a microscopic heart, semiconductor chips. But to make an advanced chip, humanity needs more than just sand. We need the most complex machine ever created in human history, the lithography machine. Think of this machine as a super printer that uses light to etch tens of billions of transistors onto a tiny silicon wafer. Whoever controls this machine controls the lifeblood of the global tech economy. Today, let's dive into the high-stakes race behind this technology, where China is desperately trying to catch up, Russia is betting on sci-fi-like projects, and why the world ultimately bows to the undisputed monopoly of ASML. Let's start with China, a nation facing some of the most brutal tech sanctions ever imposed by the US and Western Europe. The big question is, has China managed to manufacture its own lithography machines yet? The short answer is yes, but it's only the beginning. Recently, a top Chinese technology alliance, led by Shanghai Aishengnia, took a massive step forward by starting production of domestic immersion DUV, deep ultraviolet machines. This system uses a light source with a 193 nanometer wavelength, combined with a layer of ultra-pure water to refract light, allowing it to etch incredibly fine circuits. Prior to this, China's Ministry of Industry recognized domestic dry DUV machines capable of handling 65 nanometer and 110 nanometer nodes. Moving immersion DUV from the lab to real-world testing lines at foundries like SMIC and Huawei is a remarkable feat. For the first time, a non-Western entity is building its own immersion DUV system. However, looking strictly at the facts, China is still 10 to 15 years behind the global state-of-the-art. Why? First, scale. While Dutch giant ASML ships over 130 immersion DUV machines a year, commanding nearly 99% of the global market, China is currently aiming to produce just a handful of test units. Second, and most importantly, EUV, extreme ultraviolet machines. These are the only machines capable of printing cutting-edge 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer chips for iPhones or NVIDIA's AI processors. The US has completely banned ASML from selling EUV machines to China. Without EUV, China has to resort to expensive multi-patterning tricks on DUV machines, a process that skyrockets production costs and slashes yield rates. Beijing has crossed the hurdle from 0 to 1, but moving from 1 to actually replacing ASML is still a chasm that will take at least another 5 to 10 years to bridge. While China is sprinting to catch up at the near-advanced level, the situation for another world power, Russia, is a completely different story. Russia, home to some of the world's most brilliant mathematicians and physicists, is lagging behind global chip technology by 20 to 25 years. Currently, Russia's largest domestic chip maker, Micron, operates on 90 nanometer and 65 nanometer processes. That is technology the rest of the world commercialized in the early 2000s. Most of the legacy lithography equipment in Russian fabs consists of second-hand ASML or Japanese machines bought decades ago, currently struggling with a severe lack of spare parts due to international sanctions. Russia's national goal for 2030 is strikingly modest, to master domestic 28 nanometer lithography. Yet Russian scientists aren't throwing in the towel. Realizing that chasing ASML through traditional EUV technology is a lost cause, the Russian Academy of Sciences made a radical bet: skip EUV entirely and leapfrog straight to X-ray lithography. What's the idea here? X-rays have an extremely short wavelength between 0.5 and 1.5 nanometers, much shorter than ASML's EUV. In theoretical physics, X-rays travel in straight lines without severe diffraction. Theoretically, this allows etching down to sub-2 nanometer nodes without needing Zeiss's ultra-complex glass lenses or ASML's costly tin plasma light sources. It sounds like a dream shortcut. Russia aims to build a machine that is smaller, cheaper, yet potentially more powerful than ASML's EUV. But is this dream remotely realistic? In truth, using X-rays to make chips is not a new idea. It's actually a historical scar that the West already bears. Back in the 1980s and 90s, American giant IBM poured fortune into building a building-sized synchrotron particle accelerator just to test X-ray lithography. DARPA and Japanese tech giants like NTT and Fujitsu funneled billions into this exact path. Yet after 2 decades, the West abandoned it entirely. Why? Because they hit 3 technical nightmares that remain unsolved to this day. First, mask destruction. X-rays carry immense energy. Every time they pass through a nanoscale mask, the thermal energy causes the mask to warp, distort, or snap. Creating a durable X-ray mask is like building a shield that stands unbothered in dragonfire. Second, stray radiation. X-rays release secondary electrons that scatter unpredictably, blurring the ultrafine circuit lines. And third, speed. To make chip manufacturing profitable, a machine must process over 100 wafers per hour. X-ray lithography was painfully slow. Realizing X-ray was a technical trap, the US and Europe froze their X-ray programs in 1997. They pivoted all resources toward EUV, choosing to bend extreme ultraviolet light rather than hitting a wall with X-ray radiation. Russia's current X-ray project is, at its core, a desperate gamble. It's a desperate attempt by an isolated nation clinging to a sound physical theory that remains commercially impossible to build, and X-ray isn't the only casualty left in the drawer. The history of semiconductors is littered with ASML killers that bit the dust. E-beam lithography, unbelievably sharp resolution under 1 nanometer, but so slow it takes up to a week to draw a single wafer. Canon's nano-imprint lithography, NIL, stamps circuits onto wafers like a wax seal, extremely cheap. But a single microscopic dust particle ruins both the multi-million-dollar mold and the entire batch of chips. Directed self-assembly, DSA, uses chemical molecules that automatically align themselves into circuits. But chemistry works on probability. If a single molecule misaligns, a $1,000 processor turns into a brick. Why did thousands of global geniuses fail? Why can ASML monopolize a $200 million EUV machine that the entire world line up to buy? Because the semiconductor industry obeys one brutal law. A successful chip-making technology isn't the one that is most exotic. It must satisfy the holy trinity: ultra-small, etching features at the atomic scale. Blazing fast, running 24/7, pumping out hundreds of wafers every hour. Flawless yield, producing millions of chips with a 99% success rate. ASML, backed by the Western ecosystem, with optics from Zeiss in Germany and lasers from Cymer in the US, is the only entity on Earth that solved this equation. Back to the current race. China is taking the hardest path possible, rebuilding the entire supply chain from scratch. They realize they can't rely on miracles like Russia's X-ray dreams. Instead, they are sourcing every component, grinding through dry dove to immersion dove, accepting that their chips might be more expensive and less efficient, for now, because they are 100% domestic. The lithography war is no longer just about money or national pride. It's a war of human intellect fought at the atomic scale. A world where a speck of dust, 1,000th the width of a human hair, can shatter an empire's technological dream. Will China manage to build its own EUV machine in the next decade to break ASML's monopoly? Or will Russia pull off a miracle with X-rays?